Alrighty, boys. So today we're having a look from Kyle Hill. He's like if you don't know him, he's sort of like a guy like with a science background. He's very intelligent dude, really chill, really cool. And today he's talking about the classic thumb rule of thumb which you have in Fallout. Put your thumb up to the nuke to see if you should be running or if you're from a safe alignment on it. Like, how does it work? I personally, with a bit of a science background myself, personally actually think, thinking about the science of how nukes are and what knowledge I have about nukes, I don't believe the rule of thumb does actually work. I actually think you can actually do it quite a bit further away than the rule of thumb because, yeah, to make it that small on your thumb, you'd have to be so far away that you'd be absolutely fine. I feel like you could actually it be bigger than your thumb from my thoughts process. But Kyle is the one who's going to have done like deep research in this, so we'll find out what exactly it is because I'm sure he'll tell us. So let's have a look, shall we?
Long before I was a noted nuclear zaddy, I was a Fallout fan. I have hundreds of hours in each game. I've even gone as far as to work directly with Bethesda to science
Oh, didn't
everything
know that.
from mini nukes to giant laser beams. One thing that I was never able to science, though, until now, is this iconic image. No, this isn't
It is
just
the iconic
Vault
one.
Boy. If the internet is to be believed, this iconic image is actually hiding.
So obviously, I don't think we was 100% sure if it. What I don't think it was ever actually told in any games what it was. But obviously, now with the Fallout TV series, it is known that that is what it's doing. It's the thumb looking at the nuke. That is actually what it is. It is him checking how far away he is from a nuke. Like, so we found that out from the TV series, I believe. Which, if you haven't done so yet, make sure to go watch that TV series. I finished it about I don't know this like about a week ago now. It's top notch, honestly. Probably one of the best game adaptation series ever. It's up there with like The Last of Us for sure. I think it might even be better than The Last of Us adaptation. Brilliant. Go watch it for sure.
Some nuclear science in it. Is this a rule of thumb that in the event of a nuclear war could save your life? Or is it just a bunch of
But if it is what I think it is, it definitely will save your life. But your life was never at risk anyway. Oh, like a little Fallout conversion.
If the ghouls of the internet are to be believed, this iconic Vault Boy pose is much more than just a thumbs up. It's supposed to be a quick way to determine whether or not you are too close to a nuclear blast. You look at the mushroom cloud in the distance, you hold up your thumb, and if the mushroom cloud is bigger in your visual field than your
Yeah.
outstretched
I
thumb,
think I think
you
it could be
are
bigger.
too
I think
close.
it can.
Now, too close
How
is
big
hard
it
to
is.
define without a working knowledge of.
Also, I think it would have to depend what type of nuke it is because there's so different variants on nukes now. But I don't think that all the nukes do the same size. Like the size of the mushroom cloud it makes doesn't reflect the strength of it with all of them now because there's so many different types of nukes. There's like a website that you can actually test this stuff off. I can't remember what it's called though. I know people used to use it quite a lot when it first came out. But there is a
Nuclear
site where it,
weapons.
like, can
So
show you
let's
like the
start
world
there.
map and how
What
nukes are
about
affected.
nuclear weapons is so dangerous?
Everything.
Also,
that
yeah,
your
people's thumbs aren't the same
education
length. You're right, chat. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
You're
know
right. If
that
people's
already,
thumbs
but
are different as well, yeah.
specifically though.
Oh, beep boop.
From decades of testing, we know that the energy distribution during a nuclear blast is more complicated than just uranium going boom boom. Yes, most of the energy goes into blast like it does for conventional chemical explosives, but there are also significant and potentially lethal thermal and radiative effects. So,
Honestly, if you're gonna get hit by a nuke, you want to get hit by the 15%. If you're gonna get hit by it, you have to take one of these. This one for sure is the best one because you're just gone, bro. No, like it's sort of there's no pain because it's just you're gone. You're in the radius where you're just like instantly dead. Thermal energy, you're like probably burn to death, like burn, syringe, you know. So probably a bit worse. The blast energy that could be stuff to do with like, so like if you're near like a wind, like like in windows shatter and stuff like that. Obviously on the inner parts where these two occur, obviously it's that powerful that it knocks buildings down. But this one's not as bad, but like you could get severely injured. Like you could still survive in this area on the outskirts of it, probably not in the innards. Right, like this one's like the one you're more likely to survive in. If you're in these two, you're basically dead.
What too close to a nuclear bomb means, we'll have to take into account being far enough away from each energy mode.
Oh, he's going to do each different
We're
type
gonna
one. That's
evaluate
interesting.
each energy
Okay.
mode and
I
not
didn't have to do what I just did
particularly
then.
Fallout like the meme focuses on, because Fallout depends on much more complicated factors like wind speed and direction and height of burst, factors that you won't know just
Like
looking
on a
at
scientific
mushroom
basis, like
clouds.
nukes are very
And in the
interesting.
event of a nuclear
Obviously,
fallout,
they're
blasts that create
horrific
fallout are
fucking
not
weapons
actually
of destruction,
optimal for
but
destroying
they are
cities.
interesting
So we're gonna
on
ignore this aspect
you know,
for
how they
now.
work in that sense.
So, what is too close? Too close to radiation will risk acute radiation poisoning and death. Too close to thermal will risk blindness, burns of all degrees, and in the limit, vaporization. Too close to blast will risk blunt force trauma and
Yeah,
soft
so like
tissue
glass and
injuries.
shit.
Now here's a question that I
I
think
guess
is
actually
fair for this
internal, you could
Fallout
get internal
Physics
damage
101
from blast
class
as
that we're
well,
apparently
technically, yeah.
having. Sit down in the back. Which aspect of a nuclear blast will travel the furthest and will therefore define the utility of this
I think
rule
it's-
of thumb? Radiation is usually what we think
Radiation's
about
always the
most when it comes
smallest.
to nuclear weapons, but
I don't
is
know,
that
maybe
actually
thermal
what we should be
thermal
concerned
might
with?
actually be the biggest one,
Aria,
actually.
throw the
Or it's either
options up on
thermal or
screen.
blast. I think it's
Think about
maybe
it.
blast
I'll be right
because
back.
the sound travels faster than heat, right? Because the heat would disperse. Oh, add. But I think it will go radiation, thermal, blast would be my thought. But you could, I'm unsure, I'm not 100% on the blast and thermal, but radiation is definitely the smallest one. I feel it
After a
blasts
nuclear
of
blast,
sound,
how
right?
far the energy goes will be
It'll get
determined
weaker as it goes
both by
further.
the
Well, both
size
of them
of the
would.
weapon and the environment that weapon is
So I
in.
feel like you'd feel
Now, while
the blast
radiation may be
force
what most
more than you
people
would
think
feel a
about when
thermal
it comes
force,
to
right?
the aftermath of a nuclear explosion, radiation actually has the shortest
Yeah,
range
that's
of
what
the
I thought.
energies involved.
Oh, the other two are
That's
really
because
close,
high
actually.
energy particles and gamma rays are scattered and reflected by atoms in the air, and therefore don't travel as far. They can even be deflected back.
Also, I think
towards
this
that
is that
group.
website I was on about
Just a side
earlier.
note,
I'm not gonna
ionizing
lie.
X-rays at the instant
But,
of
oh, it's something
detonation are what
similar.
produce the tremendous but relatively small fireball that we're not considering here. The blast wave and associated damage travels the next furthest.
So blast
This
is
both
slightly
because it
less
has the
than
most
thermal,
energy
okay.
behind it, and because human structures, biological and artificial, are extremely sensitive to any pressures over atmospheric.
That's
or
interesting. The
ambient
thermal and
pressures.
blast are basically the same, though.
It's thermal radiation that travels the furthest after a nuclear detonation.
I thought they
as
would
the
be further
photons
apart.
and
Yeah,
ions
I agree,
don't
chat. I
interact
agree.
with air the
I
same
thought they would
way
be further
and
apart, thermal and
blast.
blast.
The atmosphere is mostly transparent,
But
to
evidently
visible,
not.
infrared, and ultraviolet light. That's why you can see things outside. Did you get the order correctly? Good for some of you.
Sort
But
of.
keep in mind that this order would have been different in a different environment. We've
Oh.
tested nuclear weapons in space, and in space, there's no air, so there's actually no blast wave.
Ah.
Ultimately, we will
Yeah,
use
that makes
the
sense.
distance at which thermal radiation is no longer dangerous to evaluate this fallout rule of thumb. Now,
Yeah, makes
I
sense.
could have Arya calculate all of those distances for different yield weapons, but she's having her liquid helium tanks refilled.
Tee, it's so cold.
So instead, we're going to use this fantastic website that you've probably seen
Nuke map,
before,
that was it.
Nuke
It's so
Map
simple.
by Alex Wellerstein, a nuclear historian.
Yeah, so on this website, like, people used to use it, especially when it first came out, like, a lot, because you could literally choose which type of, like, warhead you'd want. And they have, like, the largest one, which, like, could pretty much cover the entirety of, like, somewhere like London, like the greater London area. Insane.
It has coded within it all of the complicated calculations that will allow
Yeah, you could
us
spend
to
ages
simulate
looking
a
at
real
this.
nuclear blast of various sizes and dimensions anywhere in the world, with all the attendant details. I'm going to select 3 differently sized weapons to compare. Let's start with yields from the only offensively detonated nuclear weapons, Fat Man and Little Boy. Then I'm going to make sure to display all the data that we're interested in, from a 100% safe from thermal effects distance to mushroom cloud height, both of which we will use to compare against our thummy thumbs.
Okay.
Do all this and detonate, and it looks like the minimum safe distance from a Hiroshima-sized blast is 4.66
Oh, I didn't even
kilometers
realize that.
away,
It actually
with
tells
a
you that.
mushroom cloud that is 6.58 kilometers tall. Of course, this all scales up dramatically if we use a weapon in the United States' modern arsenal, and apocalyptically so if we simulate the largest...
Okay, yeah, look, when you make it, like, larger, the blaster thermal becomes a much larger gap. Look at that. Damn, bro. Damn.
U.S. weapon ever tested,
Insane.
the fusion bomb at Castle Bravo. With this data in hand, all we have to do now is...
It's
take
crazy
and
to see that
simulate
shit
the
on a map,
internet
bro.
was right about Vault Boy. With accurately simulated mushroom clouds and safe distances in hand, we can now use simple geometry to calculate what the visual angle of these explosions would be from our point of view, and then compare that angle to the visual angle of our thumbs outstretched in front of our faces. Remember, if the mushroom cloud at a safe distance is bigger than our thumbs, then this rule of thumb tells us nothing. But what are the chances that the internet would be wrong about something as complicated as nuclear physics? A flaw in Bethesda logic? Yeah, right. Aria, take us to the survey.
Yeah, because the games, games are very well known for being extremely scientifically accurate, guys. Those games are super scientifically accurate. 100%, Like ghouls are 100% a real thing, right? 100%.
Surface, please.
It's super dirty out there, but
I know, just
okay.
a fun little rule of...
Sorry about that, guys. The little Oni sister had a call. She didn't normally call me, so I was making sure it wasn't something horrendous had happened. Yeah, we'll get back on it. Get back on it now. So he was on about... We'll get back to, before we just get to that point, shall we?
Super dirty out there, but
I know, just
okay.
a fun little rule of thumb is that if you take your outstretched fists and hold it against the horizon, it takes up about 10 degrees.
Is he actually gonna...
of your
I'm presuming he's
visual
actually gonna
angle.
just
You
try and
can
look
use this
at where he
to
placed it,
estimate
I'm
how
presuming,
far the
right?
sun will travel in 1 hour. Now, it also just so happens that your thumb is about the same height as your fist,
Is
about
it?
10 degrees in your visual angle. So, at this safe...
Bruh. Bro. Have I got really tiny thumbs? My thumb's like half the size of my fist. Wait, actually, no, if I do it the way he did it, where he put it on top of each other, if I turn my fist sideways, it's about right. Did he mean to put it sideways? So it's facing the opposite angle? Then my thumb's the same size, right? If it's like the way he put it, it's like half the size, bro. What?
distance for this fallout rule of thumb to be true. The mushroom cloud behind me needs to be smaller than 10 degrees.
Wait, your guys is not? Oh god, have I got tiny thumbs? Oh no.
If a Hiroshima-sized nuclear weapon detonated behind me, it would produce a mushroom cloud yay big.
That looked
From
way
this
bigger than what he's going to look on his
equation we
phone.
can do at home, we can see that this would be a visual angle of 70 degrees. And so this fallout myth doesn't hold much irradiated water. You can, in fact, be much closer to a mushroom cloud than this rule of thumb.
Bruh, I'll take that as a W. I was on point, baby. The rule works, because if it is smaller than your thumb, you are going to be in a safe distance, but you could be way closer. Let's go!
Even if the bomb was much larger, produced a mushroom cloud that stretched a third of the way to space, it would still be bigger than your thumb at a safe distance. And furthermore, this advice isn't just wrong, it's useless. If you're trying to avoid thermal radiation from a nuclear blast, it travels at the speed of light. You would have literally no time to check something and then run for cover. And if you are avoiding a blast wave, you have just seconds to try to take cover rather than hold out your thumb and check a nuclear bomb like a dingus. Look, this rule of thumb is fun. It fits with the dark.
I didn't actually ever think of the logistics of sticking up your thumb. Yeah. Now he's pointed it out. That's true. You wouldn't be able to react to it anyway. By the time you even stuck your thumb up, you would have been reacted to whatever's happening, bro. It's not like the Fallout series where you could ride away on a horse, bro. You see that shit go up into a mushroom, you've already been affected, bro. Yeah, I can't believe I didn't think about that. mm,
dark humor of the Fallout series, but
But
ultimately,
yeah, it's a bit of light fun, right?
Don't need it, don't want it. Until next time.
I completed the rule of thumb, bro.
now exiting
Oh
the
wait,
facility.
is there more?
Thank you so much to the very nerdy staff here at the facility for.
Oh, he's just saying his goodbyes and whatnot. No, yeah, like that was it was interesting bit of science, you know, but the science actually behind it, you know. But yeah, you probably couldn't actually do the rule of thumb if you saw a real nuke drop. At that point, it's either over or it's not, right? Got to toss the coin, bro. Just make sure not to live in any cities, boys, and you should be all right. My thumb is still probably bigger than yours. Maybe, who knows? But yeah, interesting still to, you know, have a look and see how the rule of thumb actually from the game works. It is accurate to an extent, right? It's not wrong. If it's smaller than your thumb, it won't hurt you. It's just that it's wrong that you could be close. It could be bigger than your thumb, right? That's technically not wrong. But yeah, make sure to give Kyle Hill some love. Brilliant content creator. I love watching his videos.